She wrote down the number herself, her own pencil, her own paper. The man who answered had been dead for 10 years. It was October 1928. Dry leaves skittered across the brick-paved streets like withered hands saying goodbye to autumn. Rena Vale was driving alone from Los Angeles to New York, a woman of 30 crossing the entire country without a map and without company, carrying nothing but enormous ambition and the feeling that her real life was just about to begin. She was lost. The narrow streets of a rundown neighborhood had swallowed her without warning. Rusting factories, blank-walled warehouses, workers' houses pressed between silence and poverty. No pedestrians, no signs, only the sound of her engine and the gray light of an afternoon that felt older than it should have. And then she saw the office, a simple sign, a wooden door, a soft light glowing from inside. It was a press clipping bureau, the kind of service that monitors newspapers for clients who need to know what's being said about them. Rena Vale needed exactly that. She was entering the New York publishing world, and a local clipping service could be useful. She pushed open the door. The interior was strange in a way she couldn't name. The golden oak tables were too new. The green blotters covering them were pristine, as if they'd never been used. The typewriter near the door looked fresh from a showroom window. Everything was new. Everything felt out of place. A middle-aged woman greeted her with calm eyes and a voice that carried the sound of a state Rena couldn't place. The owner, she said, would return soon. Rena wrote down the phone number on a piece of paper, left her contact details, and promised to call. She walked back to her car and continued her journey. Days later, settled in a hotel, Rena dialed the number. 1 ring, 2. An operator came on the line, crisp and professional. "What number did you dial?" Rena repeated it. A pause stretched longer than it should have. Then the operator said something that made the walls of the room feel closer. "That number belongs to an establishment that is no longer in operation." Rena insisted. She had been there in person. She had spoken to someone. She had written the number down herself. She hired a cab driver to take her back. He was new to the city and got lost in those same narrow, decaying streets. Then Rena heard herself say, almost without thinking, "Turn right at the next corner, 1 block, then right again." The driver obeyed, startled. She knew the way. She had never been in that neighborhood before that afternoon. The door was there, the office was there. She went inside again. But this time, the woman who greeted her was different. Younger, with an unmistakable Midwestern drawl, nothing like the voice she had heard before. And when Rena mentioned the previous attendant, the calm-eyed woman who had received her, the young woman shook her head, confused. She had been there since 8 in the morning. She had received no visitors. There was no other employee. Rena returned to her hotel. She tried again to reach the owner. This time, a sharp young voice answered. Rena asked for him by name. The silence was brief. The answer was not. "He has been dead for over 10 years." Rena said nothing. She tried to mention the attendant from before. The voice turned cold. "The woman you're describing has also been dead for 5 years." Then, in that particular tone people use when they believe they're dealing with someone unwell, "Madam, where exactly did you get this information?" Rena had no answer. She had spent real time in a place that no longer existed. She had spoken to people who were already dead. She had written with a physical pencil on a physical piece of paper the telephone number of a world the present had already buried. Decades later, physicists and paranormal researchers would coin a term for experiences like hers: time slip, a crack in the fabric of the present, where a person finds themselves momentarily inhabiting a layer of the past, still vibrant, still operating, still alive. The most famous case before Rena had occurred in 1901 when two English academic women visited the gardens of Versailles and reported seeing Marie Antoinette and her courtiers, the grounds transformed as if still in the 18th century. No one ever explained what they saw, just as no one ever explained what Rena Vale experienced on that October afternoon in 1928, because the number was written down, the handwriting was hers, the paper was real, and the dead had answered.